Good afternoon, everybody. In case you didn't know, it's Friday.
Yes.
Let's break the news.
Friday. Welcome to the 4 to 5, whether you're watching on air, online, WFNY News 2, Fire Stick, Roku, and the WFNY News 2 app. And Eric, you know we're on Facebook, right?
Yes, we are. Make sure you stop in and chat with us. We'll talk a lot during the commercial breaks.
But we want to get into some of your top headlines today. For 2 weeks, we closely covered the Innocence hearings in Forsyth County. The testimonies, the background, all the way to yesterday's decision. The unanimous ruling against the men convicted of killing Chris Paul's grandfather. Nathaniel Jones was beaten to death in 2002 outside of his Winston-Salem home. He was also the grandfather of NBA star Chris Paul. Yesterday's hearing was a step as lawyers tried to get the men exonerated. Now that these hearings are over, the Paul family says they hope they can get closure after nearly 20 years. But the Innocence Commission says they will continue to fight for the men and plan to file a post-conviction motion. We'll dig in that process coming up tonight on WFNY News 2 at 5. In the meantime, we've got a complete timeline of the Innocence hearing starting from last week. Just head on over to our website. That's WFNYnews2.com. Tomorrow marks 1 year since the death of Andrew Brown Jr. Pasquotank County deputies shot and killed Brown last April while trying to serve a warrant for a drug investigation in Elizabeth City. Body cam video showed deputies shoot Brown as he tried to run away. The local DA determined the shooting was justified and none of the deputies were charged. Family members and community leaders are still calling for accountability. They are planning a march and vigil for tomorrow in Elizabeth City. Right now, a fire is burning in the North Carolina mountains. Officials are calling it the Barnett Branch Fire, and it's located near Canton. That's just south of Asheville. At last check, the fire had burned close to 220 acres and was 25% contained. Officials say Highway 276 to Pisgah Inn along the Blue Ridge Parkway are closed out of caution. The Frying Pan Tower, which is also nearby, is closed as well. Crews say both areas will remain closed throughout the weekend. Right now, early voting is underway in our state, and one Triad University is strolling to the polls. Today, the North Carolina A&T Office of Leadership and Engagement is marching from the Dudley Memorial Buildings on campus to the old courthouse polling site. The march started about 30 minutes ago. There's a lot to note for this year's primary election, so here's some important dates to keep in mind. The Greensboro mayoral race will have a primary on May 17th. The top two move to the general election. That's on the 26th. Same goes for city council. Primaries in May, general election July. There are some big bonds you need to know about. $1.5 billion for Guilford County schools. Voters make the call on that in May. Greensboro has 5 bond items, $135 million for different projects around the city. Voters get to decide on those in July. A new exhibit in the Triad dives deeper into our state's election history. It's at the Greensboro History Museum, and it gives people a hands-on look at the state of democracy. Museum staff says folks can interact with notable time frames and explore 11 different elections. Historians hope it will help people realize the importance of voting and the impact it can have at local and state levels.
I think the biggest thing you'll see is people have worked really hard for over 250 years for you to have the right to vote. And to not exercise that right, it's sort of turning your back on the blood, sweat, and tears of generations of people.
This gallery is free and will be up until 2023. Staff say they also update the exhibit and host related programs.
All right, you say you were looking for something to do this weekend. How about spending some time with the king? Yes, that's the king right there. That's the one we're talking. I thought for a minute there was going to be Richard Petty. No, we're talking about Elvis, and our friends in Lexington have launched the North Carolina Tribute Festival to the king. That happened today. It is all Elvis all the time. I spoke with organizer Morgan Blankenship about the show that'll have you saying, "Viva Las Lexington."
Y'all have a great time.
Morgan, this is exciting because Elvis is still around, right? I mean, tell me about this competition.
Yeah, so this is a two-part show. So we have the competition portion. We've got 12 Elvises ranging from 10 years old all the way to 50 years old competing for the big competition later this year in Memphis. There is also some prize money available for that. And then tonight and tomorrow night and Sunday will be our headliner concerts, and that's going to be the show.
I mean, it's a whole weekend of Elvis. It's not
Yes.
just one day.
Yes.
And I love what you called Lexington. What was your line?
Viva Las Lexington.
It's perfect. So a bit about this. These guys are traveling all over the country doing this, right? And this is one of their stops.
Yes, this is a tour, so this takes place all over the world, really. But for this particular show, this is in the Southeast.
So the winner of this goes to a championship then? So we get a chance to see like the real deal, not just somebody that wants to dress up like Elvis and be a tribute artist. These are professionals.
Yes, these are professionals. This is what they do, and they are very talented, and ranging from their mannerisms to their voice, their stage presence, everything is taken into consideration, and it's a huge deal.
And one is 10 years old. Like that's
Yeah.
so obviously they represent Elvis throughout his life.
Yes, all eras and genres of Elvis will be covered this weekend, from gospel all the way to his early jailhouse rock days. So everything's covered.
Are you excited?
So excited. Can you tell?
I was going to say it's a little bit of an understatement. She's excited. All right, Elvis is alive in Lexington, and Lexington is alive with Elvis.
That's right.
I love it. Yes, the King or Kings are in Lexington this weekend, but now there's a new movie paying tribute to him. Warner Brothers has released the trailer for the movie simply called Elvis. It stars a Once Upon a Time and Hollywood actor Austin Butler as Elvis, while Hollywood legend Tom Hanks plays Elvis's famed manager, Colonel Tom Parker. The film takes us from the star's beginning until his later years. It hits theaters on June 24th. That is a movie I definitely want to see.
Me
I
too.
remember when I saw the trailer, I was like, I got to check that out. I mean, the costuming, the
Yes.
casting is on point.
And he looks just like
He
him
does.
in some of those scenes. It's amazing. So this thing in Lexington this weekend, if you want to go, it actually started at 11 a.m. this morning, but it runs, there's a performance tonight, there's one on Saturday, and there's one on Sunday. And it is part of in case you didn't get that, it's part of a national, actually I should say global competition. So these guys travel around the country. Each city gets to pick who they think is the best, and they take the front runners and put them into a national competition or a global competition in Memphis, which happens later. I think that's in the fall, but it happens later this year. So if you go, you're not just seeing local people giving a shot at being an Elvis tribute artist, you're seeing the best.
The best. It's just so interesting and so amazing how certain celebrities like Elvis, Michael Jackson, Britney Spears even, that people really love these artists so much that they dedicate their lives or make a career out
True.
of, being, should I say impersonators, or what's the proper term
So
for it? I don't want to be disrespectful.
I know. So in the 4:30 half hour coming up, I interviewed one of the actual performers. We'll see that, and he told me we don't like to be called impersonators anymore. We're Elvis tribute artists.
I like
That's
that.
their new
Tribute
thing.
artists.
But let me tell you
Okay.
this. I also looked up a little history. I'll try to do this fast because I never run out of time. In 1955, the year before Heartbreak Hotel, his first #1 hit, he played Thomasville High School here in the Triad.
Oh, wow.
I looked this up, and it was literally just in the high school gym. And then he had another concert in 1956 when he was really on his way up, and he played in the Triad several times. The Brightwood Inn, which is out near Whitsett, he stopped by this tiny little diner, and to this day they still have that booth roped off. No one has ever sat in it since then, since 1966
And
years
that probably draws more people to that
Yes,
restaurant as
it's
well.
tiny.
They're like, I've been in the same place.
Very
as
cool.
Elvis.
That's right. You can't sit in that booth though. I've tried. Let's take a look and see what's a long time ago. We'll see what's going on with our forecast. Hey, temperature-wise, heading into the weekend, not too bad. And you know what? The weekend forecast has changed a bit. We've tweaked it down, kind of turned the volume down on the showers. So not bad. 67 in Greensboro right now, 72 High Point, Burlington at 69, Reedsville 69 degrees. All right, tonight 52, mostly cloudy. Some showers arrive, but again, this is not a washout. This is just a scattered hit or miss shower. 68 for tomorrow, mostly cloudy. Again, a chance of a scattered shower here or there, but those rain chances yesterday, 50-50 shot. Today, I think we'll bring it down to about a 30%. Not a whole lot happening out there right now, a little bit down south of Davidson County, but the majority of this, it looks like a lot of the energy is staying more to the north, but we still have a chance of that. As we watch the futurecast kind of change here, you notice that there is a chance of these showers, but a lot of it is more north than south, so we'll keep an eye on that for you, but not a washout for the weekend, just a scattered shower or two. It will get warm by the time we head into Sunday, and that's just ahead as we're in this warm pocket here. Then we get that cold front moving in, and that means on Sunday, maybe late in the day, we could see a scattered thunderstorm or two. We'll keep you on the outlook for that. We'll be here and let you know. 52 will be that overnight low tonight. That is not bad, even though we have a couple of showers. 7-day, 30%. That's for Saturday, Sunday. Not bad. 79 on Sunday. That could be almost a summer-like forecast. Not as summer-like as next week. Monday through Friday, a 20 to 30% chance of a late-day pop-up storm. This is very summertime weather. Highs between 81 and 83 degrees all next week. Our normal high, by the way, is 75.
Today is World Wish Day. It's a day dedicated to making wishes come true for sick children. So I asked you on my Facebook page, if you were granted one wish, what would it be and why? Pamela Finland says, good health for many years for all of my loved ones. Rita Hoover says, to talk to my daughter one more time. Can Ruiz wrote, to secure my grandkids' financial future, peace and grace with it. Christopher Jones wrote, I wish to have my grandmother's house remodeled to where we as a family could have Sunday dinners and holiday gatherings. Julius Williams says, good health. There was a lot of people who wish for good health for themselves, their loved ones, and just peace and happiness for everyone all over the world.
And that's kind of everybody's main wish. And if you go down, I would say, all right, so my wish for my family would be that my kids have good lives, right?
Yes.
Like you want them to grow up, be well-adjusted people and successful and be okay and have wonderful families. My selfish wish would be, because my lifelong dream was to always host a late-night talk show or a game show. So I would say if I could fill in one time in my life for one of the main late-night talk show hosts, just once, I'd be happy.
Well, your opportunity might be coming, because we do have a chat later on in the show about some hosting and talk show stuff. So
I didn't see
your
that
opportunity
story.
could be coming.
Okay.
For me, I thought about if I had one wish, I would want a stress-free stress-free life for me and my loved ones. Because I feel like if you have a stress-free life, you'll have a good life. Because you can have all the money in the world, you can have all the education in the world, and still be unhappy and still be stressed out. So just a stress-free life.
And health. My dad always said, if you don't have health, you don't have anything,
Yeah.
which is kind of true, you know. So there's so many things we could wish for.
There are a lot of things that we can wish for.
I
but
love when I ask my little ones, because, you know, they're little, like 9
Yeah.
and 12. I said, what do you want? All the money in the world. You know, like they'll say stuff like
or
that.
chicken nuggets. That's
Yeah,
all I
right,
want.
forever
So, yeah.
and ever. Amen. All right. Well, here's something some people often wish for, and that is and Lauren kind of spoke to this, the ability to let go. Got to we have to take a deep breath. Today, Coach Lamont talks about feeling chained in life and how you can break free.
In Plato's allegory of the cave, he explained how people were chained to walls, only to see the wall and the fire that burned for light. Each day they were captivated by images that passed behind them. The moment freedom was granted, one prisoner saw two realities: the images seen on the wall and the true reality of what is. Unable to process reality from image, he returned to a place of familiarity, the chains. Sometimes what we expected to see in life is not what we have experienced, and this can lead to reverting back to places we once knew. Now is not the time to abandon your current reality, but it is the time that you can begin to loose the chains that are preventing you from living the desired reality. Loose the chains today, my friend. It is time to be free. This is Coach Lamont. Make today your best you day. I'll see you tomorrow.
We were wondering if Coach Lamont was going to break
That's
through
what I
those.
thought, like Superman.
Break through those chains.
You know, that makes me think of Scrooge, the Christmas
Okay.
story, because I remember when his partner Jacob Marley showed up with all those chains. I don't know if you remember the ghost of Jacob Marley in the very beginning, and he said, "These are chains I forged in life." Each link was something he did that wasn't good, and now he has to carry those chains for eternity. And I thought, how symbolic of that is that of our lives? And sometimes it may not be bad things you did, but just your worry and your stress and all that sort of links and chains that just weight you down, you know?
But you can release those
Yep.
chains, and like Coach Lamont says, sometimes people revert back to those chains because that's all they know, which made me think about getting out of your comfort zone and taking risks. So I'll use another analogy. Taking risks is almost like going to the gym, lifting weights. Like, it hurts in the moment, it might feel uncomfortable, you might get sore, but in the end you'll grow and you'll be
It's true.
your better self. So you got to get out of that comfort zone.
I've always heard life is full of adversity, but how you handle it defines who you are. I mean, I think that's true.
Yeah.
You know?
Words of wisdom.
Let's handle it good.
Yeah.
We both chimed in today, Elsie.
Yeah.
It's not just Lauren's church. Usually it's the Coleman church. We'll be right back. That was a gospel clap. talk about a forecast again for tonight. By the way, if you're looking for something to do tonight, I heard about this. I love this group. We did a story on the 4 to 5 earlier. They're called the Camel City Yacht Club, and they play like kind of cheesy music that no one wants to admit they like, but like 70s, 80s soft rock. They're at Ziggy's in High Point tonight. That's going to be fun. And it's mostly cloudy with maybe a shower or two, so you want to do something inside. 52 for the overnight low, 68 tomorrow, and mostly cloudy. Got a couple of scattered showers here and there. Not a bad deal. You know, yesterday we were talking about a 50-50 shot of rain for Saturday and Sunday, and now we brought those numbers down to a 30%. So not too bad. Couple of showers starting to develop just south of Lexington. That may be moving to the east, so Asheboro may watch out for that, or probably if you head down towards Seagrove and Troy, better chance of seeing a light sprinkle there. The majority of this is now, it looks like it's lifting north, but still we can see some of this moisture kind of trail along this front and move down into the triad over the next couple of days. That's why we keep that 30% chance in, at least for both days. And a quick look at this, watch the rain kind of following along the front like a roller coaster on a track there, and it all kind of goes across the triad for Sunday, or Saturday rather. Then Sunday that cold front comes in, maybe an isolated thunderstorm or two. We'll keep you posted. 7-day outlook with 68 tomorrow, 79 Sunday. Big changes there for that day. And then next week, hello summer, right? Our normal high is 75. We're in the low 80s, 80 to about 83 for the range of highs as we head from Monday through Friday. Each of those days only a 20 to 30% chance of a late day pop-up shower. You have to get into that summertime mentality.
Well, we hope that you take advantage of today's nice weather, because if you're familiar with springtime in North Carolina, you know it doesn't last long. Over the next few days, we have a few shower chances in the forecast, so we asked you what you like the most about rainy days. Jeannie from Reedy Creek says, I love the fact that it waters my flowers and gardens so they can grow and be plentiful and beautiful. Thomas says, I love the rain because it cleans the pollen off my car. I love that too.
It's probably the best. I would say in rainy days, I love it if we have done our grocery shopping and we have everything we need, and you can just kind of hole up. It's almost like a snowstorm where you just stay inside and watch the rain. And my wife and I both love to watch thunderstorms. Some people are afraid of that. I love to look at them out the window and watch them.
Yeah, I don't love the sound of thunderstorms.
No, me either, yeah.
But I like the rain when, say, it's been super, super hot and it just brings that cool air in. That's when I appreciate rainfall. And then also sometimes it's just nice to watch Netflix or read a book and cuddle up inside, order some pizza, and just, you know, stay inside all day. There's days where I won't even put a toe out the door.
Yeah.
I just stayed inside all weekend.
I love, you just made me, it makes you feel cozy,
Yes.
you know, with what you described. It makes me want to, you get a blanket on the chair by the window and just hang out and watch TV. I love those days. In fact, the older I get, I think the more I like days where I don't have to go anywhere or do anything.
That's a vacation in itself.
It is. Staycation. It's a mental staycation.
All right.
With that thought.
Join us on Facebook. Let us know what you plan to do this weekend when it does rain.
I feel relaxed already.
Hey, Bobby.
Hello,
Hey, Bobby
Facebook.
Odom.
Was it Bobby Odom? Of course it's Bobby Odom.
We love Bobby Odom.
He's on there every
He
day.
is a loyal viewer.
Let me get to that page.
Hey, Melissa. Let me hop on the live
Yeah, we're
stream.
looking at it real
I'm
quick.
about
Hold
to
on.
hop on so I can talk to my good friends. Eric, any plans for the weekend?
So, I mentioned it on the air, but that band, I'm telling you folks, if you're old enough to kind of like Little River Band, Christopher Cross, Poco, Supertramp, kind of a lot of the soft rock stuff that we used to make fun of, but you didn't want to admit that you liked it. This group, the Camel City Yacht Club, is playing Ziggy's in High Point tonight. They moved the old Ziggy's from Winston-Salem. It closed for a little bit. Now it's open in High Point. I'm going to stop by there and just listen to a little bit because my buddy Clay Howard, who works at the Nussbaum Center for Entrepreneurship, is the lead singer, and they are really good. And if you like that music, it's fun.
Did you do a story on that last
did,
year?
I did,
remember
yes.
because you did a social that was like, what's a song that
Your
was
guilty
kind
pleasure.
of your guilty pleasure
Yes.
song? I remember that.
Like corny music that you like, but you don't tell everybody.
Yeah.
Like growing up, I was a kid, but I loved Barry Manilow, and so all my friends make fun of me for that. But I thought his stuff was good.
You're educating me here because I'm not familiar with a lot of these songs and groups that you just listed.
I
on.
know. If you heard them, you would know.
Then I
it.
would know.
Yeah, but you just don't know the names. Let's see who all's on here. Melita says rainy days are a good time to relax and rejuvenate. Amen. Now, she says she likes to watch storms too. Very good.
I used to get, when I lived in Memphis, the infrastructure there is like kind of outdated, so the wind would blow and we would lose power. So I always
Wow.
I would always get nervous when there was a thunderstorm, and I would make sure I had my candles ready and everything. So I'm still paranoid about that here, but I haven't experienced that here yet.
You wait. All right, Facebook, we're going back to on air. We'll see you in a bit.
So, developing now. One major streaming service is laying off some of its employees. New reports suggest there's trouble at Netflix, the headquarters. Just days after announcing a decline in subscribers, the company says it's cutting some marketing-related positions too. However, it did not comment on exactly how many people their jobs were losing.
All right, the search for a new late-night show host, this is what you were talking about earlier. James Corden announced that he's leaving the Late Late Show next spring. He's best known for his celebrity carpool karaoke segments. Officials say Corden's contract was originally set to expire this August. There is no word on who yet might replace him.
Hear that? Eric Chilton, y'all. That's a wrap on the Ellen DeGeneres Show. After 19 seasons, Ellen taped her final episode of her talk show today. She posted on a farewell picture on Instagram with a lengthy caption. It reads in part, "When we started this show in 2003, we watched the world change, sometimes for the better, sometimes not, but whatever was happening, my goal was always for the show to be a place where we could all come together and laugh for an hour." Ellen's final episode airs May 26. 19
I can't believe
seasons.
that.
That's truly a blessing. I mean, she's had a great run.
So 03 is when she started? I didn't.
I remember when all the commercials and stuff came out for that.
Have you
So-
ever watched clips from the earlier parts of her shows? It was completely different with a lower budget. You know, it wasn't as successful. It was brand new.
Yeah.
So it looks like they were doing more with less, and then later
And then now
on-
it's like this huge
Oh my
like
gosh.
Broadway performance. It's been
Massive.
interesting seeing the different people like fill in for the show. And when I was reading this, I thought about you.
I wish. I'm telling you, so I did not
So
know
if the
that-
producers are watching.
I didn't know that James Corden was hanging it up until you said that.
Yeah.
But my gosh, just once.
Yeah.
Once. When I'm like an old man, I hope that I write a letter and somebody just says, "We'll let you do it just once."
What would be the title of your talk show?
Oh my gosh, I couldn't even come up with that.
Quick, you're pitching it to the audience now.
Oh, okay, our producer just said rapid fire.
Rapid fire.
No. How about, there used to be a show, I could steal an old title I loved. It's called Not Necessarily the News.
Okay,
When
I
they
like that.
They used to make fun of news headlines, yeah. But no, it was, if I could do anything, it would be more on like a cable channel where you
Okay.
can get away with more and have more funny, edgy comedy bits. That would be fun.
Okay, just make sure you have me as a guest on
Oh,
your show.
co-host, you're not just a guest.
Yeah, and Kiana too. She'll be your producer.
We'll do it. All right, we're coming back. Stay there. Right CBS, James Corden. I need to jump in there. Hey, good afternoon. Welcome back. 30 more minutes ahead on the 4 to 5. Eric Chilton with Lauren Coleman.
Hey, hey, hey. Make sure you join our Facebook live stream. It's been a little quiet today. We want to hear your comments, chat with us about some of our stories, because we got a lot to talk about, including this weather. Yeah,
so things are changing for us and for the better. So this weekend we talked about a lot of rain yesterday, but now we'll turn that down a little bit for weekend showers. Doesn't look all that bad here in our sky cam. I believe that's Burlington. We're looking at temperatures that are going to cooperate as well as we take a look at what we're seeing across the area right now. Mostly low to mid 60s in the mountain and foothills. Then in the northern counties, we're right around 70 degrees. And when you head south, we got Troy and Pinehurst there at 74, 72 in High Point, Lexington at 71. Overnight lows tonight down to 52. You'll see more clouds than not. Yes, some showers arrive, but again, it's a 30% now for Saturday and Sunday, and really for tonight as well. So don't look for washouts. We're talking about just a hit or miss shower, light to moderate here or there, not all over the place and not very widespread. That is even for Saturday and Sunday. The only difference in Sunday, and by the way, tomorrow's high is 68, so that's a little cooler. But on Sunday, we do have a chance of an isolated thunderstorm because the front itself will be moving by then. A couple of light sprinkles, not a whole lot, and that's actually technically out of the viewing area, but it's in the southern tip of Davidson County, about to approach that, and then Montgomery County, Troy, Star, and Biscoe area. We'll see a stray shower. Most of this heavier rain will remain to the north, but you notice this little line, it just kind of streams down from the northwest to the southeast. That could filter in some moisture as it rides along that frontal boundary, and we can see that over the weekend. You can actually see it here when you watch the rain. It all just kind of streams along the front and moves across the area. That was Saturday. Now we're into Sunday morning and Sunday afternoon, and this is the front that could cause an isolated thunderstorm or two. Long range forecast, like to give you the whole enchilada here. 7-day outlook with 68 degrees tomorrow, 79 on Sunday. Big warm up for those 2 days, and again, only a 30% chance of a shower. Next week, think summertime. Even though you see a rain chance every day, remember that's just sunshine during the day and then a pop-up late day shower or thunderstorm. Highs will be in the low 80s, lows for the most part in the upper 50s and low 60s, and again, only a 20 to 30% chance of a late day shower or storm.
Now let's get to your 4 to 5 roundup. President Joe Biden says he isn't reducing federal student loan debt by $50,000 despite requests from some Democrats. Instead, the president says he's considering plans for some student loan forgiveness and will release more details soon. Right now, there are 43 million Americans with federal loans. The president is also working on getting more money to Ukraine. Today, he asked Congress to approve an additional $33 billion to help fight off Russian attacks against Ukraine. Right now, officials say missile strikes are ramping up in Kyiv, that's the country's capital city. They also say conditions for civilians are worsening as evacuation attempts remain strained. North Carolina is also assisting Ukrainians in the fight against Russian troops. The National Guard is sending over military equipment. Here's a breakdown of what we are sending. Specifically, it's sending M113 personnel carriers. They look kind of like this picture here. We're one of several states sending armored vehicles to Ukraine. Governor Cooper wrote, North Carolina stands with the people of Ukraine and is ready to support their fight for democracy and freedom. Right now, the U.S. is working on banning methanol-flavored cigarettes and flavored cigars. The FDA says the change could save more than 600,000 lives over the next 40 years. Methanol makes up 37% of the cigarette market, with more than half of users being young people. Newport Cigarettes released a statement saying, in opposition to the published science, right now the restriction will need to be approved, and that could take up to 2 years. Reports show approximately 13% of women will develop breast cancer at some point in their lives. The chance of women developing ovarian cancer is 1 in 78. Experts say knowing your family's history is vital in determining cancer risk. Women who carry BRCA gene mutations have a greater chance of developing breast or ovarian cancer. Testing for these mutations is available to determine what steps need to be taken, if any. Kate Hughes is a certified genetic counselor with the Novant Cancer Institute. She says genetic testing is recommended for everyone.
We recommend anybody that has a suspicious family history or suspicious personal history. Is there a strong history of similar types of cancer in the family? Are there lots of women with breast cancer? Are there lots of women with ovarian cancer? Lots of men with prostate cancer?
Genetic testing can be done via blood or saliva sample. If a patient receives a positive test result, Hughes says their physician may suggest several proactive treatment options like enhanced screening.
Also, we like to have people look beyond just breast and ovarian cancers because colon cancer can be hereditary, uterine cancer can run in families. So we also want people to think about those red flags, but about other cancers too.
Hughes says most insurance will cover the cost of the genetic testing, but says there are several free testing programs for patients who qualify. Now, for those who do not have a strong family history of cancer and just want to get tested, Hughes says those patients are looking at a cost of about $250. And what was interesting about that is she said back in the day it would cost maybe $5,000 to $6,000 if you didn't qualify for that type of testing. If you were just someone who just said, I just want to know, do I have these cancer-fighting genes?
So just to clarify, they are checking to see if you are likely to get
Yes.
it, right? That's what it is.
And that's why it's not recommended for everyone, but those who have like a history of cancer in their family. Do a lot of women in your family have breast cancer or other types of cancer? It's not just limited to ovarian and breast cancer.
It's interesting because my father passed from colon cancer, and so colonoscopies have been a thing in my life for more years than most people have. But I still wouldn't mind getting that a test like that to see if in the future, if you're more, I know that I have a disposition to it because of my father's history, but I wonder how much of that. And there are some tests now, we've done stories on this, where they think they can actually get in and find out whether you are going to have it or not. And then, like, that's amazing that they have that capability now. Well, not quite there, but almost, that they could tell you, you will develop it if we don't do something early. So that's amazing.
And it lets you know what steps you need to take with your diet, your sleep, all those different things. It's just amazing to see how science has developed over time. And she even said if you've gotten a genetic test like this years past, science and tests are always changing. So you want to stay on top of that. You don't want to do like a one and done thing and then not get tested again in the future.
Yeah, interesting. I'll say this real quick. I went to financial planners recently and they always say, oh, you plan to live like 30 years after retirement. Now they're bringing that up because of medical stuff. So put more in your 401k is the bottom line.
Good call. Yep. Well, the Guilford County Health Department brought home an award naming the #1 in the state. The North Carolina Public Health Association gave it to Dr. Sarah Taylor Morrow Health Department of the Year Award. The honor recognizes a health department who stood out with its initiatives and programming from the previous year. The award's namesake is actually the first woman to serve as Guilford County's public health director. She served in that post in the late 60s and early 70s.
But we talked about it earlier, there's only one place in the entire state that you can see the North Carolina Tribute to the King competition. But no, not that, that's our king. No, we're talking about the other king. There we go. Gotta get this thing fixed here. All right, our friends in Lexington, they have launched the North Carolina Tribute Festival to the King. It started today. In fact, the Elvis tribute artists are performing all day and all night. It means all Elvis all the time, right here in the Triad. I spoke with Alex Mitchell. He's one of the Elvis tribute artists. He's from Myrtle Beach, and we talked about this unique event that is more than just a show. This is an actual competition.
We need to rock and roll. You guys ready to rock and roll? We need to rock and roll a little bit. Take it on. Well, I got a woman mean as she can be.
Elvis is here. Did you know? If you hadn't heard, we've got news for you. Alex Mitchell's joined us, and this is so much fun because I think a lot of people didn't realize that it's a competition, not just a show. I mean, tell me about your participation in this.
So basically, I'm here to do 3 rounds of competition, and we find out at the end who wins, and if you win, you get to go to Memphis for Images of the King, which has been a contest that's been around for almost 30 years.
And I hear that, so performers are, and they're called tribute artists, right?
Yes.
Not impersonators. Explain that to me.
So tribute artist is more the politically correct term that we enjoy just because it's more of a tribute and we're not making a joke, it's not a novelty. We have respect for Elvis and that's the goal.
Is the competition, I've heard, like there's even a 10-year-old kid in this, right?
Yes.
So the range is everywhere.
Yeah, we see kids that are like 3, 5 years old that do it and we get to watch them grow up, and I was that kid at one point, so now I'm watching the kids grow up, so.
What's your favorite Elvis tune to perform?
It's called It's Midnight. It's from 1974. It's not many people know it. I'm doing it today actually, but it's a beautiful song. It was a personal song for him because he kind of recorded it for Priscilla when they were going through their turmoil there, but it's a beautiful song, yeah.
If you had to say what stage in his life you represent, what is that? I'm looking at your outfit.
It's the 70s. The 70s. I love the 70s. He had a lot of fun on stage, and I mean, look at this. This is I feel like Superman when I'm in this thing. It's great.
I need one of those for the show. That's all I'm saying for the show. So excited, and if you win, you go to Memphis, then what is that like?
it's a lot of fun. It's a world championship that's been going on for 30 years. It was started by a guy named Doc Franklin, who was a friend of Elvis's. So it means a lot to just be there.
And you get to travel the world, not a bad gig.
Absolutely.
All right, you can see Alex in Lexington, and Viva Los Lexington. Yeah, so I asked you on Facebook, well, tell me your favorite Elvis song and why. Lots of answers on this. Shayna says, Suspicious Minds. I love the fast-paced music, then it slows down and revs back up, and also the backup singers. I agree with that one. That's one of the best. Yolanda says, all of his songs. They're my favorite. I'm a huge Elvis fan, have been so since I was 5 years old. When my mom took me to see him in concert, there will never be another Elvis. Patricia Cox says, Can't Help Falling in Love with You. Not sure that's the exact title, but I think that's right. And Mark said Suspicious Minds. We got lots of Suspicious Minds on there. To me, there was, and you know, that was pre my time, but everybody knows Elvis songs. And one of the ones that I loved, and it goes back to when I was a kid, and Kurt Russell, before he was Kurt Russell, he was a Disney star when he was a kid. And so he did a movie made for television that was called Elvis, about Elvis's life, and he played Elvis. And I heard him sing Blue Moon of Kentucky, which is an old country song that Elvis covered in the early part of his career. I love that song.
I like Jailhouse Rock,
Yeah, that's
and then
great.
Hound Dog was probably the first Elvis song I heard as a kid, so that's a good one too. But like you said, there's so many. Like, how do you narrow it down to just one?
And my little girl, so my youngest, she's 9 now, but when she was little, somehow there was an Elvis something or another on TV, and she heard Hound Dog. And so we would sing that together to go to bed, like a lullaby almost with her. But she got the name wrong once, and she said, Dad, would you sing Corn Dog with me again?
I'm nothing but a corn dog.
Right? And so from that moment on, even
That is
now,
so cute.
and she's 9 now, so I said, Drew, you want to sing Corn Dog? She go, yeah, let's sing it. It's really cute.
Very sweet.
So go check out the Elvis thing. It looks really neat, and they're going to be there all weekend at the Civic Center right in Uptown Lexington on Main Street there. All right, we'll take a break. We're coming back.
Day 2 of the 2022 NFL Draft continues tonight. The first round went pretty smooth without any trades for the first 10 picks.
Yeah, one of those top picks was Ikem Ekwonu, better known as Icky. I'd rather say Icky, a lot easier. The Carolina Panthers scooped up the offensive tackle right out from NC State.
He is the first offensive player off the board, filling a major hole for the Panthers.
Yeah, but that's not all. Icky is not only a huge get when it comes to the field, he's also a perfect fit off for because he's from Charlotte and he lived his entire life in North Carolina.
I mean, honestly, it's just crazy. Obviously, I grew up in Charlotte, playing football throughout my years. Stayed home, went to NC State, so I've been in North Carolina my whole life. So the fact that, every step of my football journey, I've been in North Carolina, I feel like that says something. I'm really just excited for this next opportunity. It's kind of nice, kind of being already comfortable with the city and the environment. It's just one less thing I have to worry about, and one less thing I got to focus on.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. The fact that he's from the area, from North Carolina, gets to stay in the state. All his family and friends will be able to go to the games, cheer him on. That is a really good get.
Imagine that first game when they, I'm sure he'll be a starter. So when they announce his name or something and say from Charlotte, the whole place will go crazy. So,
plus, they'll probably come up with some type of chant for his name.
Yes, well, Icky. So that makes me think of the Icky Shuffle. Icky Woods back with the Bengals in the 80s, I think, late 80s, early 90s. And he had this little dance he would do called the Icky Shuffles. I keep thinking of that. So if he does well, he'll come up with his own dance, I'm sure. All right, when it comes to what's next for the Panthers, right now, they don't have a day 2 pick. However, if the right quarterback comes along, you never know, because that's something we've been talking about for a while, is that Sam Darnold and PJ Walker only have another year on their contract. There's been lots of criticism for our lack of depth in the quarterback situation, so that may be something that they try to grab. If you could get like a Baker Mayfield or somebody, and I didn't watch last night, so if this has already happened, forgive me, but that's like somebody that has some experience,
We'll keep our eye on that one. But from the gridiron to the b-ball court, social media is raving about last night's Suns versus Pelican NBA playoff game. Chris Paul had a perfect game. Get this, he scored 33 points, making 14 of 14 shots, all of his free throws, and 1 3-pointer. And this all happened in 36 minutes. It's the most field goals without a miss in NBA playoff history.
Wow.
36 minutes, and he did all that.
Insane. It was an emotional game for CP3. He was back in New Orleans taking on the team that drafted him back in 2005. The Suns went on to beat the Pelicans and win the series 115-109. Chris Paul will now set his sights on Dallas to take on the Mavericks in one more pursuit for a championship.
That is impressive. Just so much skill, so much talent that a lot of these players have. I mean, they really dedicate their life to the sport.
I did a live shot with him once when when he was at Wake Forest, and they were the best team in the ACC. And Carolina, I think, was like second, and so they were playing each other. It was a game that ended up going to triple overtime and Wake won. But in the live shot, just kind of joking, some of the players showed up randomly. I did not plan on Chris Paul being there, but Chris Paul and Downey, some of the other guys came up, and I was like, oh, you're going to win? Yeah, we're going to win. And I said, well, what would you do if I busted this out right now? And I had a Carolina shirt on underneath.
Oh, I think I remember you telling me this story.
And they acted like they were beating me up. It was so funny. We had a good time.
That is fun. That is fun.
Yeah, I don't know if he'll like me anymore.
Nah, he'll always remember you probably.
Oh, well, yeah, maybe not so good, but yeah. All right, we'll take a break. We're coming right back.
Hey, ice cold milk and an Oreo cookie, they forever go together like a classic combination. All right, you can raise your hand at home too, all right? Raise your hand if you take pictures while on vacation.
Me.
Yep.
Raise your hand if you take pictures when you're doing something fun on the weekend.
Me.
Raise your hand if you take pictures just because you're bored and your phone's nearby.
Me.
Hey! Not you.
No.
Okay, what is it though with all of us just taking pictures all the time?
I
It's a
think we
selfie.
just like to document stuff. I know I like social media, so I like to post a lot of my pictures on social, so that's why I take them.
I think it's because we can now.
'Cause we can.
we have a device that takes incredible pictures and it's with you all the time.
Right. So I'm a take funny pictures person. So let's look at some examples. Okay, here we go. All right, you ready? All right. So I went to a guided hike and the guide's like, hey, it can look like you are drinking from the waterfall and it can look like you are spewing the waterfall out of
That
your
one
mouth.
really does look like you're spewing it out.
That
Okay,
is
all right,
funny.
here's another one. This one is with lighthouses. This one, it makes my dad look like he's holding up the lighthouse, right? And this one here, this one looks like he's got the lighthouse in between his hands,
That
like
looks
he's
good.
holding
I like
it, right?
that picture. No,
All
that.
right, all right, now this
Oh.
looks
remember
like
this.
I'm climbing on the side of an ice mountain, but I'm laying flat on my stomach. And the guide was like, let me turn it this way, and it'll look like you're doing it. And he's like, put your leg out.
You got
That
me
is
with that one.
phenomenal.
I
Yeah,
remember
me too.
commenting, whoa, so cool.
Okay. All right. So I'm not the only one who likes pictures like this. I want you to take a look at this right here. An 11-year-old in Bolivia is taking creative pictures of tourists at the salt flats. And he uses objects like
That's
toy
a good one.
dinosaurs and bottles. And he charges a few bucks here and there and brings in money for his family. As soon as I saw the story, I knew we had to do it. It seems easy, but I got to tell you, taking pictures like that is difficult.
No, that
You,
perspective.
you got to have the right
Yeah,
angle.
yes,
you
that's
have to, because
right.
even when you go to like see the monuments in DC, you want to go like this. You have to keep doing it over and over again to make
That's
sure
true.
you're in the right
Right.
spot.
That's like if you go online and look at the Leaning Tower of Pisa, everybody's doing
doing
the same
yes,
thing.
Yes,
Yes.
yes, it's just fun. So I invite you to share your pictures on Facebook because I posted my pictures on Facebook and I'm like, hey, share your funny pictures so that we can all laugh at them and then steal your ideas for the next time we go on vacation,
And
right?
this is a child that's doing this.
Yeah,
And so
11.
I wonder how he came up with the idea to do this because I'm sure he's making some great money doing that.
Well, it's Bolivia, so
Okay.
he's making like 15 bucks, but there 15 bucks
It goes
is
It's a
good-
lot,
is
and there's
a
a
good
lot of
haul.
tourists that come to the area,
Right.
so very
Yeah.
creative.
So you have to come back and share what everybody. I want to see what everybody posts because that's pretty funny.
We'll just see what happens. Make sure you go on my Facebook page and you do that right now so we can have all the fun. All right, we'll be back in a minute.
Ronnie Pulliam helped the murder suspect bury victim Lori Campbell in Mebane. He is charged with felony accessory.
Oh no, I cleared my throat right on the mic check. 1, 2, 3. It was only a fish. It was only a fish. 1, 2, 3.
Illinois, Indiana, Iowa, Kansas sucks, Kentucky, Louisiana, Maine, Maryland.
Really?
They're running 1 in the 5, 6 and
Hey, mic check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Mic check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1.
Hey, it's time for my 2 cents. Today, I'm talking about tranquility and peace of mind. You know, I don't know about you, but I run in 17 different directions. My wife says I have way too many pots on the stove, and I am all over the place, right? Every now and again, I actually get the urge to settle down. Not often, but when I do, I can tell I really need it. Some of us need that more frequently than others, but once in a while, I need that break. So I wanted to show you a place that I was not that familiar with. I knew the name, but had never been there, that gave me that tranquil peace of mind. Take a look. I know some of you know this, right? The images are beautiful. I was there recently, just saw it, stopped over, took some pictures, and was blown away at the beauty of the Paul Senior Botanical Gardens in Kernersville. Now, it's a shame. I used to live in Kernersville at one point in my life, but I've never been to this location. The trees, the structures, the picturesque walkways, it is fabulous. I didn't even get around to taking pictures of the tulips, but it is one of the most beautiful places in the Triad. And what's so cool about it is that even though it's kind of in the middle of Kernersville, you just lose the idea that you're in a town. You almost feel like you're in these tranquil gardens somewhere on the Biltmore estate. It really gave me that disassociation from the hustle and bustle of life with kids and jobs and side hustles and everything, just life, right? And it allowed me to kind of disassociate for a minute and give thanks, settle down, count your blessings. And I can't think of anything more that we need in this day and time than that. So if you're looking for a place to go, this is it for me. Find your own, but we all need that tranquil peace of mind. That's just my 2 cents. That's your 4 to 5. WFMY News 2 at 5 starts now.
Two people convicted in the death of NBA star Chris Paul's grandfather are speaking out after a 3-judge panel upheld their convictions.
WFMY News 2's Jenna Kurzina is live in Forsyth County tonight. Jenna, sounds like they're planning to fight this ruling.
Yeah, Chad, the two men that I spoke with have already served time and are